Well, it's interesting because when you did it, you know what I mean? Like that drive, like you were into it. You know, you had a lot of energy for that. And I'm just sort of wondering if maybe that's a big thing about hardcore music is it's having that flame and that spark. And it's interesting to me, you know, when I meet people that you seem at peace with that though. You seem at peace that you've kind of like, hey, you did your thing, and you obviously still care about it, but it's not what it was in your life.
Yeah, the bands I was in didn't define me as a person, so they were part of the journey, right?
Right.
And I like that part of the journey, but I'm on sort of a different path now. So I'm in the path of having kids and dogs, and so it's different. When my kids hear that I was in a band, they always want to hear it, but then they just sort of laugh and cringe, at it.
Is that how you also felt like as far as like things not defining you? Is that how you like felt like when you were in California and there's this whole idea of okay, well here's a Marine doing this hardcore band, like to you were you just like, look, I'm a guy that loves this music and I happen to be a Marine, but I could be something else. I would still love this music and want to do it. Like was that like sort of the same mindset?
I didn't really think about it. So I know from going to hardcore shows in the Midwest, and um, there was people like me were more common at shows, out in the Midwest. It wasn't strange to see, people who were, you know, like I was at shows out there. It was not different. It was only really different when I was in California, and I was sort of this outlier at shows, or when me and my Marine buddies would go to hardcore shows or whatever. But I didn't really think about it. It was just I just wanted to do a band, and I was like super stoked to be out in California, and it was nice out there, and there was like all these other cool bands out there that I just wanted to play shows with and listen to records, right?
Was that like the similar mindset to later when you're now the label guy living in Salt Lake City and there's all that stuff, like we were talking about that was kind of swirling around the label, like the hardline stuff and this and that. Were you the similar mindset of, hey, this doesn't define like this doesn't define me either. Like I'm just a guy that wants to put out bands.
I was probably more defined by the label in Salt Lake City than anything else. I was kind of like this day in life sentence guy out in Salt Lake City. I would work jobs just as a means to sort of pay my bills, but I was really immersed in the label, and I think during that time I had thought that if I worked hard for the label, I could make something on the label and make it Victory Records number 2.0 or something like that, right? Um, it was a lot of hard work, and I put out some pretty cool bands. It just wasn't a good time, I just it was it, there was a point where I either had to go all in 100%, or I had to just kind of stick to like it being like a side gig, and I was never brave enough to just throw it all in and just go,
What does all in look like at that point though? Because I have an idea of what it might be, but at that point, are you talking about go like investors going into more debt? Like what is
no, no,
that?
no. I was thinking, like the whole, just trying to do the label full time,
Right.
right? Because when you're working a full time job during the day, you're not able to, call record stores or distributors and hey, hey, how can I get my records in there? How can I get these bands in there? How can I, get my bands on these tours with these other cool bands? But when you're working it as like a side hustle, you're not able to do all that, right? So if I had wanted, to make it like a full time gig, I just had to go all in. I would have had to like quit my job and just get on that phone all day long and just hustle, hustle, hustle. And I was just too scared. I just didn't. Probably didn't have enough like faith in what I was doing, and just kind of continued what I was doing until it eventually just wore me out.